Ed, Jeremiah Valeska is threatening to destroy half the city. You really think I care if you've deluded yourself into thinking you and Lee are a couple?
You see, that is my point. You don't believe that Lee could actually love me, do you?
Honestly? No. You're a psychopath and a murderer. And the fact that you need me to validate your crazy fantasy means that you don't believe it either. That doesn't matter. What matters is stopping Jeremiah from killing thousands of people. So can we?
Yeah, we're gonna settle this.
Ed?
No, Jim. This isn't the GCPD. Here, I make the rules. So we're not gonna do this until we talk about what I want to talk about.
Yo, Jim.
What up, Ed?
Wanna introduce you to this girl? I think I really love this girl.
Yeah.
Man, she's so fine.
Straight up, dog.
She stands about 5'7", really helps with the depression.
Damn.
Walking with the sexy walk, license plate say dog.
What?
Used to date a homeless cop, now
How her husband got murdered. We messing with same girl. Same girl.
to the love of my life.
And my almost wife.
Either same girl. Same girl. Man, I can't believe we've been messing around with the same damn girl. With the same girl.
Here she comes right now. We'll settle this once and for all.
Hey guys, meet my new friend, Wade Wilson.
What?
Catch Marina Baccarin in Deadpool 2 in theaters May 17th.
Hello, and you're listening to the Gotham Chronicle podcast powered by the BatmanUniverse.net. Check out the Batman Universe for this and many other great Batman podcasts. I'm Josh, and joining me is...
This is Donovan.
And this is Jan.
And are you all having a good day, listeners? Because all it takes is one bad day to drive anyone insane, or to make a show, go from 22 episode season to a 13 episode final season, thanks to Fox.
That was one bad weekend where a lot of shows are going down.
Yeah.
Technically, that one day, everybody was getting axed.
Jeremiah led Lucifer and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Last Man on Earth into that room, and then he locked the door and turned the fire on.
The fire rises.
And then he just decided to turn Fox into a place where he would feel safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
By, blowing up half of it.
Yeah. So Jeremiah realizes that he can wipe out half of humanity with just the snap of his fingers, because he has a trigger with a bunch of bombs. He wants to drive Bruce insane with just one bad day, and he does a pretty good job of, upsetting Bruce by showing him tortured images of Alfred and
we've all read The Killing Joke, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Selena gets kidnapped, but she's there.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just this. I haven't actually read The Killing Joke. I've had everyone is I know what happens because everyone's told me what. Oh, don't ooh me. Everyone's told me what happened, and I'm just I don't know if I actually have to read it since everyone's telling me what happens, and a lot of people are it's not really. Because especially how it happened and how it affected canon.
Mm-hmm.
And it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So I've never actually gone out of my way to read it. So, but I was watching this oh, hey, this looks a lot like The Killing Joke. So thanks for
go ahead.
Thanks for confirming that for me.
Oh, well, that's a line from The Killing Joke, the whole one bad day that drive you insane. So
yeah.
Yeah. Everyone Yeah, everyone thinks that Gordon's dead, but he's just having a nap in the Narrows. So, he and Ed put their riddle powers and homeless powers together to solve Jerome's puzzle to figure out Jerome. Wow, I'm still doing this. I got to get used to solve Jeremiah's puzzle and figure out where the bombs are, But along the way, they argue about, you're with the doc. Oh, I'm with the doc in many ways. Okay, I don't need the details. I mean, many ways.
In every way. No. Yes. No. Yes.
All right, now I'm going to get out of here and tell everyone where the bombs are. You can't do that. All right? JCPD. Punch. Wow. That works a lot better with a gun. But my fists work just as well. Needless to say, Bullock is able to deactivate the bombs in a very, very, nail-biting scene for me because, I'll talk about this more. I was, 80% sure that Bullock might die based on different things. I was like, oh man. It turns out that Alfred didn't mutilate his face. It was just a wacky misunderstanding and it was someone else. So Bruce doesn't have to be insane. So he and Selena and Alfred,
wacky is one way to put it.
Yeah. He and Selena and Alfred all go back to, Wayne Manor.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah. All's well that ends well. And Alfred's like, now, excuse me, two teenagers, while, I just make sure that the security system is working here and that no one breaks in like they always do. We wouldn't want Flotsam and Jetsam to, interrupt your kiss like Ra's al Ghul did a few weeks ago. It's like, yes, no one to interrupt our kiss. So they kiss, and then all of a sudden, Jeremiah says GCPD and shoots Selena in the gut.
Yeah, he did say GCPD.
He did.
Really did.
Yeah.
GCPD, he failed, though. He only shot once.
It
has to be rapid fire, Jeremiah. Rapid fire. Get the homelessness right.
Homelessness is a characteristic.
See, in this show, when a gun goes off, it's you don't hear a click, you hear a GCPD. It's that's just the sound of gunfire now. GCPD, GCPD, GCPD. Okay. Wow.
But it's so fast, it just sounds like...
Yeah. And Hugo Strange is coming back. P.S. Yeah, because, Butch, after having a crazy adventure with Jeremiah, Butch, drinks his, troubles away, which, I do love how, even though these people hate each other, half the time, by the end of the episode, they're just all at the bar, but they still hate Penguin. But, Butch is, sitting with, Barbara and Tabitha, man... That was some effed up shit that we just went through.
Come on, Butch, let's go. No, forget you. I'm staying here. But what about Strange? I know where he is. Yeah. What?
I strangle you now. You die. I mean, tell me where he is.
You told me you didn't know where he is. I just found out. How did you just find out if I've been with you this entire time? I just got a text message. But you didn't check your phone the whole time we were together. It was a text message on my Google Glass. But you're not wearing glasses. It's Google Glass contact lenses. I see.
That actually kind of cool.
Story checks out.
Penguin with his crazy explanations.
But what about the money? And then Tabitha, Jessica Lucas, pops her head. I can be very persuasive. In the subplot.
Okay. The subplot of trying to steal money to pay for the insurance premiums is over. It's oh wait, we're criminals. That's right. Whoops. I'm realizing as I'm doing this fake recap that I'm forgetting a lot of things.
No, that really was it. I think you covered the basics.
That was it.
There was something else that I forgot though that I just remembered, but then I lost it when we were talking about Tabitha and Butch. But we'll bring it up in our little character by character stuff, I'm sure. So Ra's al Ghul comes. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul comes and he's like, "You've never had a friend like me," and
don't start.
Never.
Yeah, and then Jim, tells Lee, I want you to leave town alone because riddle sex is kind of disgusting. I mean, ugh. So, and then Nigma hears that, and for some reason he's mad at Lee, even though she didn't say she'd do it. But I guess the doubts are in his head. So let's talk about this episode. Jen, I kind of have an idea what Jen thinks of it, but let's start with Jen again, since I've talked with Don about this off mic.
Oh wait, right. It's a voice thing, so you can't just see like my face just go.
We're not a video podcast this year.
Yeah. Or
maybe for the last 13 episodes. Just kidding. That would be horrible.
Well, you would have to edit so much.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like that was my response to like 90% of this episode. Like, oh my God. What? I was just like, a lot of this looks very familiar to stuff that I've heard about before. And like, I think I'm really happy that I didn't actually read it, The Killing Joke, or watch the cartoon that came out, cartoon movie.
Be really happy you didn't watch the cartoon movie.
No, I heard so many bad things about it while it's come out from everybody who actually read and enjoyed it. And then also from people who read and didn't enjoy it. They were like, I didn't know they could make this worse. And it's not the people who, and I'm just going to say the people who didn't enjoy it, it wasn't for reasons of it like being bad. It was just for the content and how the content was handled. But yeah, so I was watching this and I was just like, when he was going through the house and then Alfred was getting tortured, I was like, is this kind of like what they did to Gordon-ish? But is it?
Yeah, except it
like
was
ish.
Yeah, it was like the same exact like spirit of the scene, like the same emotions and the same themes, except like Gordon was naked and he was on like a carnival ride. But like they stripped him naked to humiliate him, and like Bruce has seen like videos of Alfred getting tortured, but Gordon was seeing like photographs, like as he was going through this carnival ride, of his like daughter like bleeding out naked on the floor. So less nudity, but I think that the scene was like still very, very intense.
Yeah, it really was. It had shades of like, what is it called? Hostel for me, in terms of like colors. Hostel and Saw colors were being thrown around there, along with like the whole feel of it felt like gore porn. The same type of shooting and framing felt like gore porn movies. And I don't know if you guys, has anyone's watched that, like Saw, Hostel,
I know what you mean.
Other sort of things. But I was watching them when they first came out, and I didn't realize it was going to become such like a huge thing, which it did, and it was like really boring. So I was like a little bit shocked at that, like that they would go to that extreme. It wasn't that. It wasn't that extreme when you're watching it for TV, but like the whole tone of it felt like that, and I had an immediate like tense reaction. I did really enjoy Jeremiah, of course. He's so good. He's so chill. He's like, nah, I got this, guys. I got this. I really did enjoy Lucius and Bullock working together. I always love Lucius. Alvarez came in there, actually had a line today, or that episode. Harper actually threw everyone in line, which was nice. I don't know if you guys caught that or remember.
Oh, no, yeah, at the beginning. It's like, all right, everyone, we're going to stop Jeremiah. You mean like how you stopped the pig? You mean like how like you shot one of us while trying to shoot the pig? And there's like silence, and Harper's like, all right, well, the homeless cop trusts him, so we should trust him too.
Basically. I was like, why is everybody like, and then what really annoyed me is like everybody just freaking stopped, and they're like, the last time we followed you, it's all like, so you're not going to do your job?
Well,
that's a good point. What the hell?
They are known for not doing their job. Like, so much of season 1 is them having to be like convinced of like doing their job. Like,
the cops are cowards. They need somebody to lead them, otherwise they'll start like whining every time.
If Gordon was like kidnapped by aliens for like a year or something, like he would like come back and the GCVD would just be like, a college rec room, people playing like ping pong and like, table tennis and like,
it's just so annoying.
No one's
I was
solving any
like
crimes.
so mad. I can understand, but I did like that they did bring up, all the stuff that Bullock did. That was good, but still, like, it was just like, you guys. Well, the last time we did our jobs, we got hurt. It's like, why did you put the badge on? But it was good for exposition purposes. And then it also helped with his arc, which he really needed. He really, really, I need to do this. And like, if he didn't like insist on going, it just would have came up so bad. And I did like, I love everything Bruce and Selena.
Yeah.
I had the most mixed feelings when she got shot in the gut, because I literally went like when I texted you and said like the sound that just got choked in my throat. I had just saw her get shot right in the gut, and I was like, no.
There was a Selena Kyle cosplayer who like posted a picture on Twitter and she looks just like, if you check my Twitter, I retweeted it, but like she looks just like Karen Beekendova. And she's wearing, like, the costume, and she has, like, a blood stain on her gut, and she's holding up a sign saying, Fox, if you don't renew Gotham, I'll feel like I just got shot in the gut. And I was like,
waka, waka.
I see what you did there. Topical.
Oh my God. Did I miss anything?
If you did.
Oh, wait, right. I just totally blocked out the sirens and...
You were defending the sirens in our little group chats.
Was I? Was I high?
Well, you were saying that like they were played straight this time instead of like wacky sirens adventures. Like they weren't, like.
They didn't feel like they were. It felt more like they were being like none of the lines in this episode felt like they were there for like fun for me. I think it's because they were mostly trying to. They were still scheming, but they were trying to get their life together, or they were trying to get out and trying to survive.
They were trying to do all this so that Tabitha and Butch can get back together again, because unseen forces are stopping them from doing that.
You don't know what's wrong with Butch's body. Maybe he can't do things, and he wants to do those things, and he feels emasculated because.
If only they would tell us.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need them to tell me. It's not like he's all, oh no, I can't see her until I find who killed Bruce's parents.
We're looking at you, season 2, Gordon.
After he's like, I need to get out and see Lee, but I can't see her before I find Bruce who killed her.
I need her phone number, and Barnes like, here's her phone number right here. Are you sure that's her current number? Oh yeah, I call her at 3 a.m. every single day to like remind her about the dead bodies. That's how she was eventually picked to move back. Yeah, Dawn, go ahead with your thought. Oh, by the way, real quick, breaking news! I just got this email from DC while we were recording just now. The next DC live action show is going to be Doom Patrol, and it's like the team that does most of these CW shows, like Greg Berlanti and Sarah Shetner and stuff like that.
Now that's actually an interesting and unique choice. That sounds. I mean, I really have not read the Doom Patrol, but like I appreciate the choice.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts. I thought this was okay. I think it was good. I think that there are definite parts that I genuinely really liked, like the Bullock stuff. I thought that most of the Bruce and Alfred stuff was effective. I thought Sean Perry did a great job. And I like kind of where things are going. I didn't like it as much as last episode. And the way I saw it was that last episode's writing was just every season there's at least one episode where I'm like the writing quality is really inspired. And that's usually just one episode out of the season. This one, I kind of felt like it was back to the kind of same. Like I don't agree with Jan who says that like the side characters are kind of like being serious. I think she said. I kind of thought that they were kind of like not so much comic book relief, but I I don't know. It was kind of more of them, like, kind of standing around, their, swilling whiskey and not doing anything until, like, Jeremiah came up. And it was very strange seeing Jeremiah interact with those characters because he didn't necessarily push them to be more animated or scared or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting where it's going, but we'll talk about specific parts, and I'll get more in detail. But I thought this was okay, but like I think I'm not as high on it as the two of you are.
I was very high on this episode. This was like my favorite episode of the series because, like Jan, there were so many points where I was just like shocked. Like during the scenes of like Bruce watching Alfred get tortured, I was like, "Holy heck, this is intense! This is intense!" And like Sean Pertwee's performance during all that, and like Davi Mazouz's like his horror as he was seeing, like Sean Pertwee getting tortured and stuff like that. And stuff that I usually hate from the show, like, I was actually enjoying somewhat. Like, I have not been liking the Enigma Lee plotline, but I kind of didn't mind what they did with it this week. Like, I liked the conversation that he and Gordon had about it with the whole, like, she would never be with a killer. You've killed more people than me. And maybe that's why she doesn't love me anymore. Oh, this homeless cop. And then when Bullock was like going to disarm the bomb, I was like, legitimately, if this was any other episode, I'd be like, oh, he'll be fine. But like, because we know that No Man's Land is coming, and because like Roz had that like, cataclysmic vision, I was like, I think that the bombs are going to go off. And I was like, oh my gosh, are they going to kill Bullock in the second to last episode of the season? Is Bullock going to survive this? And it was like Ryan Seacrest, like announcing the winner of American Idol. Like it was just like taking a long, long time to like, happen. And I was like biting my nails like, oh my gosh. Like, and I was watching this one on the little treadmill TV at the gym. And there was like so many times where I was grabbing my face in like either horror, like shock, or like suspense. And I don't know if I've had a physical reaction like that to any other Gotham episode. Like I did have a lot of like horror during the People Pie episode, the like Orphans Gala dinner party thing. But like even then, like not as much as this. This was just suspense from stuff. And it did a very great job of doing an Elseworlds version of The Killing Joke. Like, not like a Zack Snyder, like shot-for-shot remake, but it had, like, the spirit of The Killing Joke, in so many ways, and a lot of the emotional beats of it, including at the end when, like, Selena getting shot, like, her and Bruce are like, we've done all the classic moments of The Killing Joke, but I feel like we're missing one. Yes, this one, blam. Like
the most controversial, second most controversial part in this story.
Selena becomes Oracle instead of Catwoman. Surprise! That's how we're going to get Barbara Gordon on the show.
That would be... Never mind.
Yeah. So yeah, I like this. Let's all the plot lines are kind of like running together, like somewhat. But I guess let's talk about Jeremiah first, and this is our second time. Oh, which by the way, they've been all over the place with this Jeremiah Joker thing.
You're talking about the embargo, aren't you?
Yeah, I do. I should bring that up. That ticked a lot of people off. But like, one of the producers like came out again and said, "Oh, actually, Jeremiah is not the Joker." But like, Cameron Monaghan has been like on the talk show circuit saying, "Yeah, Jeremiah is the Joker." It turns out that what the deal is that Warner Brothers, like DC Comics, like the higher up executives specifically told Gotham that they cannot use the name the Joker. And they were going to give Jeremiah green hair, but that was vetoed as well. So, like, Gotham actually can't use the Joker, but, like, this is the Joker. They just can't, like... They just can't
this is,
say
like,
he
the
is.
best Joker I've seen. Like, I mean, Cameron in general.
Yeah.
He's played two different ones, but so good!
It's because of, like, the Suicide Squad, like, stuff, and the Jared Leto. Like, WB...
You mean the crap Joker?
Yeah, WB
like
has this
Joker?
weird like thing, and it's been going on for decades. Where like,
this goes back to like the mid 2000s when the Batman cartoon was out during like the Dark Knight or the Nolan Batman movies, and like the Justice League animated series, they could have Batman, but they had to stop using Batman supporting cast and the Joker in them. And even then it didn't make any sense. They had to stop using Aquaman for an Aquaman movie. That never happened.
Yeah, WB is just weird when it comes to this property stuff. But you know what? Like, that's fine. I don't need them to call Jeremiah the Joker. I don't even need him to necessarily have green hair because, like, he does look like the Joker. So,
True.
Yeah. But I liked him this episode. What'd you all think?
Honestly, and I'll just get this out real quick, I thought he was okay. I liked him better the last episode. And maybe it's because of the writing. Because I know we talked about like the difference in the writers between the last episode and this episode. Because there was a series regular who was writing this one. But just to me, I thought that he was, I don't know, he was kind of mentioning his brother a lot. There's a lot of like, you know, I'm smarter than he ever was. Like said again and again and again. And whereas last episode we were like, well, let's have a chance to see this character grow and kind of see what he's going to do. I kind of felt that he was a little more one note in this, kind of talking very slowly and kind of having a very calm, which is characterizes this different version. But I don't know. I wasn't as impressed in this episode as I was in the last episode, and I'm not sure if it's just the mechanics of the script, or if it's because how they're doing this version. But I'll just say that like we've only had 2 episodes of this version, so obviously like the verdict's not in for him totally. But I did like the last episode better than this one.
I mean, there's only 1 episode left of the season, so I think that there's enough to like do a verdict if you so wanted to.
I'll save it until next episode.
Ooh. Okay. John.
How did I feel about Jeremiah this episode?
Yeah, Jeremiah and the Jeremiah plot. Like, yeah, you know, like just generally Jeremiah and anything spinning out of the Jeremiah plots.
I can see why you would like the last episode better. He had a wider acting range, but that's because you got to watch his transformation last episode. This is I seriously doubt this is like the end of it, but this episode was him like, I have a plan and then I'm going to enact this plan. And the main this episode, I think he was just the main bad, and he had like this whole thing. Everyone had to react to him mostly, and then everything else was more of the recordings that he did in the first the last episode, and so it was like more consistent. So he's was also very smug, because he doesn't only believe that he's smarter than his brother, he believes he's smarter than everyone. The only thing that gets me is that the Joker is a little bit more unpredictable. But yeah, Jeremiah's been very consistent this episode. He basically was the main villain. Like, he was the villain even of the villains this episode. And while the villains did try to capitalize on it, I did like that they tried to work together to escape in with each other. Because, it just, to me, while it might have seemed like kind of campy, or laid back, to me it was all like, this is how serious it is. All these people put all this aside to try to get out of the city together. I mean, they could have just straight up left, but they're villains and they just want to get that paper, I guess.
I wasn't too crazy with his plan was essentially just to blow up Gotham.
To make it his home.
And then do what?
To live in it. So he could live outside instead of underground. He would just live in the same maze above ground.
Did he say that?
No, dude. Jim said that. He's all like, oh, this looks just like the maze. He lived in a maze all his life. He's trying to make Gotham into a maze. That's why he said with this, he said he was going to make the city in his own image or whatever. He was literally building his home above ground, so it's like a nest. Gotham became a nest that he could live in and just see the sky or whatever. That's why he was going to blow up those buildings specifically. They were going to fall in a specific way to rebuild the maze.
Are you out of breath? I'm not saying that doesn't make any sense, but I don't know how I feel about that. Only because it's really, I mean, it's crazy, but it's it's kind of just like, I don't know.
I want to bring up one point about the unpredictable thing. Like, I feel like he did a few unpredictable things this episode, like when he burned his followers alive, or Jerome's followers, that it would be, and when he bazookaed that like captured henchman of his.
Okay, that one,
funny.
yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah,
I'll give you that one.
Both of those, and he's like, "I thought you were going to give us 6 hours." Well, whose fault is that? Thanks a lot, Sirens.
Sirens? You mean, thanks a lot, Penguin. It was his idea. He went to them.
Yeah, that was Penguin's. That was his fault.
Penguin's an honorary siren today.
No matter how much they don't want him.
Does this mean I get to be in your commercial?
Well, Selena's not with him, so maybe he's a stand-in.
Yeah.
Butch would do it. Just put Butch in that leather.
No reason to ever be alone in the city again.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, his whole thing. He said like 5 times, "I'm so much smarter than Jerome. I'm so much better than Jerome. I'm smarter than everybody, and I want to make Gotham into my own personal maze, just like it was in my own personal." Something about that just doesn't rub me the right way. I don't know. It's not. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked him. I thought he did good, but I mean, I don't have a lot to say about him because it was mostly like how people reacted to him, and like, and the scenes that were intense were ones that, like, you know, like the ones that he was not in, like Alfred getting tortured, like he caused that to happen, but I don't have anything to say about him, like, doing that. But although, yeah, let's talk about Alfred and like that torture. And once Selena found that like sack in the closet, I was like, oh, okay, like that's the real Alfred, and like Bruce is seeing things, or they like brought Clayface back for like, you know, a cup of coffee or something. But that was still like very, very, very intense. And when like Sean Pertwee did a good job, like, you know, pretending that he was like Jokerized, and then like,
oh yeah, that was
slicing his face.
Terrifying.
Yeah,
awesome in
terrifying in all the right ways. And I do kind of like that. This mini kind of character arc that we've had with Selena and Alfred, of them like hating each other, where like by the end of the episode, like they've both like rescued Bruce, and Bruce has rescued both of them enough times that, like, you know, like Alfred invites her to like stay for whatever they were going to stay for, and like, and she accepts. Like, there's no more saltiness between them. That made me happy.
Yet.
What I liked is that when the real Alfred showed up, it took Davy Mazouz a couple of minutes to kind of shake out of it. Like it took him like at least 10 seconds to kind of like snap out of it and not remember that he just didn't see Alfred get shot in the face after trying to kill him.
Close range too, like right in his face.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought
who shot fake Alfred, by the way? Was that real Alfred or Selena?
Yeah, it was real Alfred.
616.
Okay.
OG Alfred. I think it was just I know that they said, you know, kill the butler. Something about it was a tiny bit convenient that like they used just a guy as opposed to like actually driving Alfred insane. But I am willing to let that go. Like, whatever.
It could have been that it was just easier for them to use a stand-in to get him to attack Bruce versus they couldn't really break Alfred, so they just stuffed him away because they didn't have time. Yeah, because that was like a day.
I can buy that.
And also Alfred was a soldier, and he's done some things. It's hard to break him.
They can't overpower him though.
I guess that like Scarecrow's. Now that I'm thinking about this, I'm like, wait a second. So like, because this was on video, like Scarecrow's fear gas affects like what you see on video. So they were really counting on Bruce to like see that person as Alfred.
No. All they had to do was like take a couple of videos of beating the crap out of Alfred and him screaming, and then loop it while Bruce was on the fear gas. He's breathing the fear gas. He sees it at the beginning, and then he can just morph it from there because the fear gas makes you see what you most fear. And if at that moment he's seeing Alfred get beat up, it could just exacerbate from there.
I do think that they actually beat.
So the beginning. The videos at the beginning, that was actually the real Alfred.
Getting beaten up.
Okay, I like that. That makes sense. And then they used an imposter at the end for that final room because they would not have been able to get the real Alfred to like go insane and fight Bruce. Bruce has to think he's fighting. Too. Yeah, Bruce has to think he's fighting the real Alfred for this to like effectively like upset Bruce. So yeah, I dig that.
And the guy didn't look unlike Sean Pertwee. It wasn't like he turned into like Corey Michael Smith or something like that. So like,
that would have been insane.
But I mean, honestly, the scene where he is like laughing and then cuts his mouth, my eyes bugged out. I was like, whoa, now, because I did not think at that moment that I had no reason to think that it was a fake Alfred. So that was pretty cool.
I thought he was cutting his tongue out, man. I was like, what? And then he like pulled his hand away. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, not the reaction you're supposed to have to that, but it was the reaction I had. I was like, oh, thank God. He just cut his face. It's fine. We could fix that. It's cosmetic.
Well, Gotham also often has a viewer discretion advised kind of sticker on the beginning of it, and I don't really... I mean, they are violent at times, but like I would say 2 times out of 3, I don't know if it's like a consistently like darker than average show, but I thought that was like, whoa, that's something that like I wonder... I know it wasn't as bloody as real life, but like... I've not seen that on television, and I was like, I wonder if that had to be fought to kind of get on screen, because that was pretty intense.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been cutting off fingers and eyeballs and like hands,
slitting children's throats.
Yeah, killing children. So I don't necessarily think that this was too rough for Fox. Maybe I wouldn't show it to like. There's 2 middle schoolers who I work with, and they refuse to watch Gotham because like when they were in 5th grade, I showed them like a few clips, and it like traumatized them. Like they don't want to see the show. Like they're about to graduate middle school this week and go into high school, and they're still like afraid of the show because of all the gore.
I mean, it's more violent than the CW shows on a consistent level.
With the cartoony, with the cartoony violence of like Ralph Dibny being like smushed like he's a Looney Tunes character when Iris West steps on him. That was something that happened on Flash this season. All right. Do we have anything more to say about the Alfred stuff or the Selena stuff or anything? Or Selena getting shot. I mean, I guess the only thing I have to say about that is that was as abrupt as Barbara getting shot. Luckily they didn't do the sexual assaults that that followed it. But
I don't think we're ever going to see that again in any other like kind of idea of this story. It's just way too toxic.
That would have.
Oh, go ahead.
That would have. I did like that. Like the music goes quiet and Sean Pertwee just wails on camera Montague.
That was funny. Yeah.
And it's funny because like there's like a cast photo of like the 4 of them together.
Yeah.
like during the filming of that scene, like they all took a nice photo afterwards. Like, see, we're still friends. I don't have any thoughts about Selena dying. Like, there's no way that they're killing, Cameron Beacon-Dova off,
Well, I mean, have we seen the promo?
She'll be fine. Yeah, she's in the hospital in the promo, and, like, obviously, like, she is one of the best things about the show. Like, we gotta have her in this final choke season.
What were you going to say about that, Jan?
I don't remember. What were we talking about?
It's about her, like them not, him, Joker doesn't rip off her clothes or anything like that in this version.
Oh yeah, that actually makes me after okay. So here's the thing about I know she's legal now and all that, but after the whole Ivy thing, if they do anything to women in this show, it's just really upsetting to me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No,
it's tainted the entire treatment of women on this show for me. Is what they did to Ivy, and it's all like Ivy didn't deserve any of that. Oh, we need to capitalize on her sexuality, dude. She's 12. I don't care how old you make her body. She's still a child, and she even in Maggie Gee, how they're like, "Ooh, you're so hot," and she was still acting like a 5-year-old. She reacted to things like she'd just come out of middle school. I don't care how old she actually was in the show. They dumbed her down to be a baby.
Well,
but in a woman's body, and they tried to like put her in like sexy that. Ugh, I was like really glad when they started putting more clothes on her.
Also, the thing with Maggie Geha is that like I know that like in real life Maggie Geha is like my age, but I feel in the show she was meant to be like a teenager. I mean, I'm not saying that's why they should sexualize her, but I'm saying is like I don't know why they had to make her even older. Besides,
hold on.
Objectification.
Sorry. If she was supposed to be a teenager, then why were like 30-year-olds and 40-year-old men like openly pawing all over her? That was gross.
Yeah, I think they were going along the idea that she was an adult because otherwise they would have just like, you know, why get rid of Claire Foley, who was like a teenager? The recast her with someone that was only meant to be like 3 years older, like in continuity. So, but yeah, it's. And I guess I mean the season's over next week, so it doesn't look like we're seeing Ivy again. She wasn't on the guest cast list, but I mean hopefully we'll get some paid enlist, you know, next year. It's really weird that like the end is like nearer than like it's not.
She got away, right? Like Ivy wasn't arrested.
Yeah, Ivy just left, I think.
Okay.
Or
she and Selena had that fight, and Selena like wrecked the thing that the Lazarus thing.
Fascinating.
Lucius like studies Selena's floor. Interesting. Fascinating.
I was going to say that even at Gotham Sleaziest, they're not going to. I don't think they've ever had. I don't think rape. No one's ever been raped in the show. I don't think. And not to open up that can of worms with the
Butch was gonna rape Barbara in season 1, but like that got interrupted.
Oh yeah, well he was like. There was the threat of sexual violence there, but like it didn't get anywhere before I think. Gordon
he's like, I like blondes, and I think like Gordon or like Alan and Montoya came in to like say it's been a while. That was in Penguin's umbrella, and their power dynamic has shifted so much since then.
The point I'm trying to make is that there's like less than negative 100% chance they would ever do that to Karen Beacon-Dova, and luckily I've not seen anybody online argue that they should have, because. God, because there are people who argue for that scene in The Killing Joke. So,
yeah, and Bruce and Selena kissed. You know, we've had some few almost kisses, but like, yeah, because they broke up last season, so this is their first like kiss since then.
Yeah, you reminded me that like they've kissed at least twice, if not 3 times before this scene, and I was like, this made me feel that like it was for the first time ever. I totally forgot about those other times.
Yeah, they kissed in Lovecraft.
What was it though? I was just like, yay! No!
And that's why this was the best episode ever, because it makes you go, yay, 1 second, and no, like, a second later. Like, you know, it was just such a surprise.
And pain.
Yeah.
How did Bruce not see that guy come in there? Seriously, though.
How does Wayne Manor not have security at this point?
Yeah, Jerome and his cronies broke in like 2 seasons ago.
But I'm saying that like he like teleported in the middle of the room. It wasn't that like they opened the door. It's like, and Bruce was like, his vision was like at Selena. So was her hair that big that he couldn't see him?
Hold on. Selena always came right in through the window too.
But I mean, they're in
some houses have alarms on their windows.
I'm not saying how he got in the house. I'm saying like, how did he like get right behind her where Bruce didn't see him? Did he like sneak on the ground or sneak behind the couch?
You know, one thing I really did love about this episode is that they were like, Bruce or Wayne Enterprises built this. I was like, oh, yes.
That was a good scene with Bullock and Bruce. By the way, like they don't really get a lot of scenes together anymore, yes. So that was awesome, and it was like emotional too. Like, you know, like where's Gordon? Where's the homeless cop? It's like, it ain't looking good, kid.
Well, I absolutely agree with you. I like when Bruce was feeling the guilt, and he's like, blah, 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 stop him. And then, like, Donald Logue just says, no, you're going home. Like that's like the most mature Bullock's ever sounded.
Yeah, people have to stop like letting this teenager, like, even though he's more like, skilled than they are in lots of ways, and like,
But they don't know that.
has a higher success rate than they do. Yeah, like
They don't
the cops
know that.
should not be letting this like teenager like get involved in their like Sylvester and Tweety mysteries.
That's why homeless cop says, "Bruce, I have a plan, but involves you risking getting blown up. I'm in," and like no one's saying
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened like a month ago. Wow.
No, 2 episodes ago. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, a month ago.
No, it was like 3 episodes though, because we had like a skip week where we dealt with Barbara Keene's magic powers.
Yeah, we had that one real full episode that made blood come out of my eyes.
It's very weird that I can say that and it not be a joke. Like, no, we had an episode that dealt with Barbara Keene's magic powers. Like, that sounds like something that I would make up, but like, that's actually what happened.
Yeah, this show is taking us on some trips, yo.
Gotham, the 5th and final season.
Man, we'll get to that though. I really did like that he tried to take responsibility for. It's like, honey, you didn't even frickin' know. Calm down. I understand why you'd feel bad, but you didn't know that he was making bombs this entire time.
Yeah, it wasn't Bruce's fault, really. Honestly.
Because really, I don't know, I feel like Jeremiah was just... Wait, no, because then...
There's got to be some way we can blame Gordon for this. I'm sure we're going to find it.
Gordon actually did a good job. He saved the day.
Yeah, no, like every... Oh my god, this is the best Gordon has ever been.
I don't know about the best, but he was pretty good.
The conversation between him and Ed was so good. The conversation between him and Bullock was really good. The conversation, like when he got on TV, he said, "I'm alive."
As though we don't want him to be.
I know, but it was just so good.
Jeremiah's followers are like, go. Wait, no, they're not Gordon. They're like, ghost. And Jeremiah's like, that's what you're about to become.
I would,
I really did enjoy that scene. He's like, yeah, I kind of figured this would happen. Like that they would turn on him eventually.
That's one of my cons of the episode. I thought that was kind of cheap. It's like, you didn't kill the homeless cop. He's a phony.
Everyone's failed to kill Gordon.
Phony. Yeah, I know. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but remember, he set that up. He said, yeah, I've got their respect and their whatever because I did something that my brother didn't do, is that's kill Jim Gordon. So he already like set that up as something that happened. So the moment Jim came back and they were like, yeah, whatever, you suck. We're not going to follow you anymore. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that's the thing with like both the cops and the people in Narrows and the poor people and the henchmen, except for like the mobsters, everyone acts like kids. And it's like, I know they're supposed to be crazy, but crazy doesn't mean infantile. So, like, I was kind of rolling my eyes at that, too.
As you do.
What was I going to say about something else earlier? I agree with you, though, Jen, that, like, I think in the last few episodes, Gordon, or generally throughout the whole season, except for, like, the Sophia stuff, like, I think Gordon has been better. Like, because he was kind of
he's barely done anything that I've like said, oh man, this is corrupt. This is corrupt.
Right, right. And honestly,
like,
he was tricked.
The most he's done has been like super homeless and shoot people before they can actually respond.
Yeah,
yelling.
His base level of homelessness.
Yes, his base level homelessness.
At the end of Gotham Infinity War, like as everyone's disappearing, Gordon like comes into the GCPD like, hey guys, guess what I just got? And he's holding like a lease in his hand and like house keys, but then like instead of him fading away, like the lease and the house keys fade away. No.
There's time now.
Bullock though, like talking about Donald Logue, like I said in my recap thing, I legitimately thought he was a goner. I was like, this is the untimely end of Bullock, because I was like, I knew from spoilers that like something was going to happen to destroy the city. Roz had that vision, and like Bullock's like, I don't know which wire to cut. I was like, oh man.
And Lucius was like, neither do I. You're screwed.
I know. I was like, Lucius, no. He's like, what do you mean there's two? And I was like, oh no.
I'll just cut both of them. Homeless cop.
That is exactly what Gordon would have done. Oh,
He would have shot the bomb. Like,
Didn't Bullock?
Now, if they had
once?
sent Alvarez or Harper to do it, one of them would have been a goner.
Yeah, they'll be like a countdown of death with a very loud clock. There's no way they'd be surviving that. But like, honestly,
because of how messed up the show is, like, it would have blown up, like, on Alvarez, and then, like, but because it was an Indian Hill bomb for some reason, it would have, like, turned him into, he would have survived and turned into, like, a monster. Like,
Alva
He turns
werewolf.
into Bane. He comes back as Bane!
Alvarez was just
my
my name that they gave me in foster care. My birth name is Antonio Diego.
Is that Bane's real name?
Only in Batman and Robin.
Yeah, only in the
Oh,
Schumacher
okay.
movie.
I was, like, really confused.
I mean, like, yeah, in the comics he doesn't have a real name.
Yeah, that's why I was
He's
like, what?
He's just Bane.
I was honestly thinking, because I was like you, Josh, like because of like No Man's Land being the episode title, the next episode. I was thinking that I just knew those bombs were going to go off, and honestly, and I think this goes back to like the very beginning of the season when Donald Logue was legitimately not around because of what was going on with his daughter. I was like, I'm wondering if this is like his way out of the show. So yeah, I was surprised that he didn't blow up. I honestly went in there thinking, oh wow, this is a pretty auspicious exit, but no, and I'm glad he survived. I wasn't wanting him to die, but I just thought this where the wind was blowing.
Not after the whole performance he had that episode. Everything he said, everything he did was like amazeballs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look how fast this goes by when like we don't have plot holes to discuss or we're not.
I know.
Anything.
You guys have both seen
It's
the first
like,
Blade movie, right?
The
no,
what movie?
Never.
The very first Blade movie.
I own it.
Honestly, never.
Donald Logue is like he's like the right hand man to the main villain in that, and he's awesome. But he's like I would say he's comic relief, but he kind of is comic relief. But he's a very well ranged actor.
Oh, the thing that everyone tells me to like watch with him in it is called Terriers. It's a TV show.
Wasn't he on like another sitcom? Like it was according to Jim, but like he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, but I was told to watch Terriers. It's like a police procedural, and he's supposed to be like super good in it. And they were like, "Oh my god, he's going to be in Gotham. This is going to be amazing. You should see him in Terriers." And I was like, "What?"
Right before Gotham started, he was a recurring character in Law and Order SVU. So that's where I first saw him actually be a cop.
Ah.
He was rumored to be like Jim Gordon when this was like announced. They're like, Donald Logue possibly into the role of Jim Gordon.
That's amusing to me.
Which like I can't imagine because I do feel like he's got a Bullock look pretty well.
Exactly.
You
You would have thought Bullock rather than Gordon.
I don't know. Yeah. He could have been like a young movie Gordon.
He could have.
I can't see it.
Like the Tim Burton type.
Yeah, a young Pat Hingle.
Like before he had all the donuts.
Donu and I were joking that this is all going to be a prequel to Batman '89, and then and we're going to bring Donald Glover in to like play Harvey Dent in the last season, which I was like, yeah, well, let's do that.
It would become my favorite show of all time. I'd be like, everything was worth it. Mm-hmm. Everything was worth it because Donald Glover is now Billy D. Williams in everything.
Yeah,
the Glover D. Williams universe.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to shortchange the episode because I feel like it's hard to do it justice. But this literally was my favorite one of the season, and possibly of the. Honestly, yeah, I'll go ahead and say like unless I reflect further and like change my mind, this is my favorite one of the series. The only things left to talk about are the Sirens and Penguin and Grundy, and Ross showed up for like 5 seconds.
I keep forgetting Ross was in this.
Boo.
That's like really sad. Cause you know how I started
he's right behind me, isn't he?
Say what now, John?
I said like it's really sad that I could sit here and go like I keep forgetting Ross was in this episode because so much happened that was way more important to me. But also he just showed up for like 2 seconds, and he's the entire reason I started watching this show. And it's all like he's like one of the most sad things about the show to me, and that's sad because he's my favorite Batman villain.
I honestly feel that like every season the show has gotten better, but there's always been like a thing where like there has to be something really dumb about it, and that's definitely like my least favorite. There's otherwise, Penguin's been fine, and like Gordon's been better. I like the pig stuff and Sophia stuff, but like Ra's al Ghul and like all the Barbara stuff is just clawing at my balls. It's like please leave me alone. My fandom can't take it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't outright dislike the Penguin and the Sirens, but they kind of felt like to me they were kind of just dragging the episode down. It was kind of serious and gripping and suspenseful. And we gotta have the whole like Barbara impatiently swigging tequila and like all of her sisters of assassins standing around doing dick, and it's just like this is a waste of my time. I know we're setting up for the finale, but like. It feels like a much worse plot is colliding with a potentially awesome plot.
Hold on a second. Did the lady assassins go with them to the warehouse?
They were absolutely there, yeah.
Yeah,
so they're all dead now?
No, they got out.
Oh, okay. What?
That would be horrible. Like they die in this like stupid Jerome plot or Jeremiah. Wow.
In a way where you don't even notice.
I say stupid. I don't mean that I didn't like the plot, but just like I feel like a guy trying to blow up one city is kind of beneath them and their mission. That's why I say that. Like they die in a plot.
They have a mission.
Yeah.
We will fight for you.
No, they're just gonna fight for a woman who decided to give up her power for another woman, and that's it. That's the whole thing. For
sisterhood. There was something about at the beginning when Barbara it's well, I always hated that clock tower and I always hated Jim. It's like I put that clip in 1 or 2 episodes ago of Aaron Richards saying, "Oh, of course they're going to get back together. I think that now that they're closer to getting back together than they ever were." Jim was seemingly dead this episode, and Barbara couldn't even be bothered to care.
I'm 99.9% sure she's just trolling the shit out of you.
I guess. And then, it's funny because my data is almost up for the month on my phone. It resets, at the end of the day. So to distract myself when I'm doing Uber, I'm trying to listen to stuff that doesn't cause data. So I went to my voice memo archives, and I listened to my Season 3 Gotham interviews that we did at SDCC when Stella was with me that year. And Aaron Richards said the same thing then. She's like, "Oh, Barbara and Jim, they're really close to getting back together. You'll see." It's she's been saying this for years.
Yeah, she's trolling you. I don't know why you can't pick this up, man. You keep saying this every time.
It does bother me that she's so nonchalant about this person that she almost married dying, but whatever. It's also weird when I see Penguin be so at ease with Tabitha, because it's yeah, she did kill your mom, and the theory that I have, which I can't take credit for this because someone on Reddit brought this up as a theory and I haven't been able to unhear it since then, is that Penguin is tricking Butch. And that he's actually going to try and turn Butch into Grundy again, and so he can control him in Season 1. But then what he's going to do is he's going to his first act is going to be to send Grundy to kill Tabitha, and it's revenge against both of them, revenge on Tabitha for killing his mom, and then Butch has to live with the fact knowing that he killed the woman that he loves, and that's Penguin's revenge against him as well for everything that's happened. And Robin Lord Taylor said in some interview that at the end of the season we're really, 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 really going to hate Oswald. So I think that I can't think of what he could do that's worse than what he's done otherwise in this series that would make everyone hate him so much.
Crown Barbara Keene the queen of assassins and help her take over the world.
Kill me now. Just kill it. Just
me first.
End me. No.
Do it. No, come on. Do it now. Kill me.
Did we hit all the points?
Of this episode?
Yeah, I mean, and unless you have anything to say about Butch and and Penguin and stuff like that, but Hugo Strange is coming back. They know where he is. We're going to see him next week. So actually, you know what? We didn't hit up all the points. We have not. We didn't really talk about the Nigma Lee stuff.
Let's do that.
Which I have not been liking that plot line this season, but I dug these conversations, including, Gordon, saying, yeah, maybe that's why she's not with me. And then,
Killed, you're 10 times the killer I've ever been. I was like, he's not wrong, Gordon.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Gordon did not argue that.
That's what I said. This episode is bringing it home. Yes, you call him out. You call him out because they sit there. They call out the Riddler for doing all these criminal things, but oh my god.
Well, and Gordon was saying all this stuff that we've been saying. He's like, oh, you're you really think that you really think she'd be with someone like you, and she's just using you, and there's no way that she'd really be into you. And I love how he's like, I don't know what she's doing to make you think that that you're with her. And he smugly says, oh, she's with me in every way imaginable.
However way you're with her. Oh.
Which in fairness, I can see him making that up. But at the same, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're actually boning.
I think it's a solid shot one way or the other.
They don't have to. She doesn't have to be in love with him, but she is definitely got to be indulgent. Yeah, the way she looks at him. Oh my god!
It's not the first reference that they've made to it either, because in the bank robbery episode, he said at the beginning, well, except for that one time, I forget his exact words, but are
you always as intimate with other people or whatever? And I feel that even that scene you was referencing her kissing him. I mean, she might well. I'm not saying she's not. She's absolutely perfectly not giving him the lead. But
this is Bush and Tabitha all over again.
No, I don't think it's. I'm saying it's possible one or the other. I'm saying it's possible one or the other.
It's probable one way or the other.
If he's pulling out her underwear and says, "Oh, who does this belong to?" It's I get it, Enigma, I get it. Then I was like, okay, that's not them smiling around.
Here's a video.
Why does he have to pull out a pair of underwear? Who does that? Oh, are you sleeping with Jen? Here's her underwear. Yes, I am.
Jeff Winger?
You could have gone that 10 other ways.
Well, I'm saying that because of Ed's his ego and everything. I'm not saying that they're absolutely not sleeping together. I'm saying I can see Ed making that up to cheese him off. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You sound so tolerant of that. You can barely recognize that as a possibility.
It's
there's no point in him doing that, though.
Yeah.
No, there is a point in him doing that. To make himself feel better.
My god.
They referenced the riddle sex in the bank robbery episode.
They really did.
Let's drop this. I'm just going to turn into another 40-minute digression that I don't have time for.
That's because you don't pick up on things that are said and done because you don't want them.
Jam, was this one of the things you were mentioning when you said that you feel like the show was calling itself out?
The whole thing with Bullock was a good call out. The whole scene with Ed and Jim was a good call out, and then the whole Sirens meets Penguin meets Butch, they were all talking to each other, and everything would be why isn't this being addressed? They straight up addressed it to each other, and I was just oh, okay, because why don't we just do this? And then Tab's I could be very persuasive. She's why are we worrying about money? Basically,
wait a second. We're criminals. I forgot.
Yeah,
we steal we steal money. Yeah. Do we have anything else about the episode before we get into
it being canceled?
Comments in next week?
Do we have comments in next week?
Well, we have 2 short comments. One of them I feel is a troll because they were I love Evil Lee and and there's going to be a third Valeska sibling. Yeah. The comments on our last episode will be read by Donovan from That Old Corpse.
Barbara Queen says, "You all joked about there being more siblings of Jerome, but I think there is a triplet out there. The clues were in the video Gordon watched. The triplet will probably become Jack Ryder. I guess I'm the only one liking the evil version of Lee. Jack Ryder is the creeper, by the way. She's so much better than the annoying girlfriend she was the past few seasons. Every show has one of those. Criminal Lee is welcome anytime. As for the podcast, bring back Ben and Stella for the season finale." No.
Wow, it's no.
It was more of a demand than anything. But like, thank you for your comment, Barbara Queen. Unlikely, but you never know.
Actually, both Stella and Ben have been reached out to for the season finale, and both have, like, I feel like this is like when they talk about, like, Michael Scott coming back for The Office. It's like, oh, we've reached out and they want to do it. It's just a matter of scheduling. Both of them have agreed to record something and send it in. It's just going to be a matter of if we're able to schedule it or not, which is what the Fox chairman said 3 months ago, ironically. But yeah, I mean, I've been talking to Stella about, different ideas, and Ben said that he'd be up for something as well. So you will be hearing both of them, hopefully in the season finale, unless, something changes. I feel like the rest of this comment might be trolling us, like the clues about the third Valeska. They're not going to do that, especially now with, like, 13 episodes to go. Like, they're going to introduce, like, a third brother, okay.
Lord, no.
And there was a comment on the YouTube thing, and I don't have that in front of me, and I'm not going to make Don get it, because it was just some guy saying, yeah, Batman, great dude. Like, which it was.
What do you think about this, Jen? Your thoughts?
A really vague, generic comment.
What's great?
Nothing. So I've got the Futon credit thing opened.
Okay, I'm going to watch the promo.
Yeah, the next episode is called No Man's Land. Jan, you watch the promo first, and then I guess, Don, you can read Futon Critic, and
I think this is the most excited I've been for a season finale in a while.
That's good.
Yeah, because everything else has been like a cluster. This looks like it's going to be like something I can actually follow, because the last episode of season 1, I was just like, what is even happening? I don't even remember what the season finale for season 2 was.
Oh, it was a Clayface.
Yeah, but I don't remember what happened or why anything was happening. It was just a lot happening at once, and I was just like, I think I actually checked out halfway through, because my mind was all like, this is way too much happening at once. And my season 3, I remember, because I was on your
call-in show.
First time I came on your podcast, and I was squealing because Ra's al Ghul was there for 2 seconds.
About as long as he was on this episode.
Basically. But I'm really glad that I watched this promo, because I feel better now.
About Selena?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how you survived that long, but I also don't care.
Mm-hmm. Donovan, go ahead and read the Futon Critic.
Everyone's a hero on an all-new Gotham Thursday. Everyone's a hero, spoilers, as Gotham falls into complete anarchy once again. A team of unlikely heroes step up to save it. Bullock takes the lead at the GCBD, and Bruce's psychological limits are tested as those close to him are put it. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the wrong episode.
Yeah, I was like,
this sounds like what we just watched.
My fault. Okay.
You had one job.
There will be new light on an all-new season finale of Gotham Thursday, May 17th on Fox. Jeremiah warns a skeptical Gordon of more destruction coming Gotham's way, and Gordon is forced to make a potentially devastating decision. Meanwhile, Barbara rallies together a team to secure her position as alliances in the underworld shift and prove that no one can be trusted again. Then Bruce is forced to come to terms with the future again, and they all do a Dark Knight No Man's Land season finale of Gotham, airing Thursday, May 17th. Guest cast: Karen Monaghan as Jeremiah, David W. Thompson as Scarecrow, Michelle Ventimiglia as Firefly, Nathan Darrow as Mr. Freeze, Shiva Kalai-Selvan as Lelia. BD the God Wong as Hugo Strange, Larry Pine as Mayor Burke, Malik Yoba as Major Harlan.
Everything is good and nothing hurts. BD Wong will be back
to save us.
Basically. Hold on, we're gonna have BD Wong and Cameron Monaghan in the same episode. I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if I can handle that much awesome in one place.
Yeah, all that awesome. Yeah,
I hope
he sings. I mean, Hugo Strange singing is always good.
I mean, he's never sung before, but first of everything.
What are you talking about? He sung
know that
he sung "Homeless Hell" and "Monster Man Out of You" and all that stuff.
You do know that the person who sang in Mulan was actually Donny Osmond.
Donny Osmond, yeah. I was very disappointed to
It
find
wasn't B.D. Wong.
I might be wrong, but I think B.D. Wong is like a theatrical performer, so I think he might be able. I think he does sing in real life. So, blast.
Yeah.
He's always singing strange.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
I am excited for this episode, and I kind of like the idea of Gotham doing No Man's Land. I probably would have said something different, like, years ago, but at this point now, they've done enough Batman stuff that, like, that's not supposed to happen until years later, that I'm just, like, I'm more accepting of it. I'm like, okay, like, let's, this is an Elseworlds, let's see what they can do with it. Let's talk before we go about news that's come out over the weekend, because holy cow. I wrote an article on TBU, like, kind of summing up, like, what exactly happened and how it happened, because this is a really interesting, like, this is not just a cut and dry, like, Fox decided to do this. There was a lot of factors that went along with it, and, like, twists and turns, like, almost as much as Gotham itself. But Fox signed a deal with the NFL for, like, Thursday Night Football and, like, postseason games, and, like, basically it was going to take up, like, 30 hours of programming. And then the problem with that is that Fox has less real estate with their scheduling than other networks do, because other primetime networks, they will air shows from 8 to 11, so they have 3 hours of programming, but Fox only does 8 to 10, so they only have 2 hours, so they have less space in general, and then the NFL takes up so much. So that put, like, the future of Gotham kind of up in the air, but then the Fox, one of the Fox chairmen, or he might be the chairman, I don't know how the whole chairman thing works, like, he did an interview with, I think it was Deadline, I posted it on TBU this morning, like, the link to it, but he had said in March that he wanted Gotham to come back for multiple seasons, because they said that when they moved Gotham to Thursdays, they had a lot of expectations for how it would perform, and they're happy with how it's performed, because even though the Nielsen ratings have been low, it's been high for, like, the demos that they want, like the mail demos, and it's been performing well on, like, DVR and, like, on-demand services for them. So they've been happy with what it's been doing, but the Nielsen ratings haven't been the best. And because they said that they just wanted Gotham back, but they weren't sure what to do with the space. And then, like, last Thursday and, like, Friday, Fox canceled, like, 5 shows or something like that. Like, it was crazy. And like, Gotham's renewal still had not been announced. And when the cast stopped filming at the end of March, they were, like, posting, like, messages like, we don't know if we'll be back or not, but, like, if this is the end, then, like, it's been an honor serving with you all. And it was very weird. And as the weekend was going on, because Fox is upfronts, which is, like, when they, like, present their schedule for advertisers, that was today as of this recording, which is, like, May 14th. And, like, we were on, like, Saturday and Sunday, and, like, it was still, like, a question of, is Gotham going to renew Fox? And then at one point it was decided it's either going to be Lethal Weapon or Gotham. And Lethal Weapon was having problems because they had to fire, like, their lead actor. So it was like, well, if Lethal Weapon can find a replacement, we'll renew it before Monday. But if they can't find a replacement by Monday, we'll renew Gotham. So it was like this Fox versus Lethal Weapon, like, war on Twitter all weekend. And people, like, tweeting, like, renew Gotham, screw Lethal Weapon. And then, like, I woke up Sunday to, like, Lethal Weapon has found a new actor. So people were like, so Gotham is doomed. But then it was reported, oh, actually, they're considering possibly a 13-episode season to finish the show off, to give it, like, 100 episodes for syndication. And then it was eventually announced, like, later that night, like, Gotham will come back as a mid-season replacement, but it will be the last season. And I'm wondering if it wasn't for the, like, part of me, like, blames the damn sports ball, because if it wasn't for the NFL, there would have been more space in the schedule. Gotham probably would have had a full season, and they might have been like, maybe we'll do some more seasons. But now we know that this is ending, and we know in how many episodes too. Like, it's weird because I could even think about, like, 13 episodes ago was, like, an episode that we only watched mere months ago. So, like, that's how many episodes of the show we're going to have left. So with all that in mind, thoughts, everyone?
I am happy to know that this won't drag on like Smallville famously did, because everyone agrees that Smallville went on too long, and I can only take this shit for so long. So I'm actually pretty happy to hear that like it's not ending now, but it's ending. The end is soon. Because honestly, at this point, they've 100%ed a lot of their characters. It's not like they've not gone anywhere. So I'm honestly overall pleased with the announcement. Because I'm not somebody who's like really sucked up in the show most of the time. So let's see where it goes and how it ends.
She's crying.
I'm just really excited that they're getting Bruce to Batman. If they had done this any other way and said like, oh yeah, we're just going to continue like usual and just have it end with like Gordon being still the main character, it would have been really obnoxious. But they're actually going for I'm assuming they're going for what they believe is a solid ending, and we'll actually be able to see Davi in like a Batman outfit, which would be amazing because it is going to be focusing on his transformation and the end of it rather.
Yeah, don't Tom Welling this thing, like Leslie had David in the costume, and he'll do it. He will love it.
Yeah, but you always forget. I don't know why you always forget. People don't put on that costume because it's supposed to be like cursed.
Then don't take the job.
Yeah, well, but
he was told that he was never going to be Superman in the first place, and then later they tried to pressure him into it. Isn't that how it went?
No.
It wasn't. Well, maybe it was the curse, and he just didn't want to sound superstitious. But yeah. I will probably talk about this more next week when another thing that I can announce about our season finale is that barring anything like forces of nature, Dustin does want to come on for it, so we should have Dustin next week as well.
Yay!
So that will be fun. So we'll probably talk more about the future of the show there. But yeah, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this. I knew that we were going to get a 5th season no matter what, because I was like, well, honestly, even if Fox drops it, there's like so many places that the show can go and so many places that will try and take it. I'd like a longer season, but what I told Don yesterday on the phone is I have a year to kind of adjust to the fact that this show is going away. And it's weird because so much of my life, especially this last year, like I've been covering the show since its inception, but then like season 4, I took the coverage up like a notch. Like I've interviewed the cast 5 times this season. That's like crazy. And doing the podcast and like, everything else, I feel really connected to the show. It's going to feel weird when this is all over, but I'm glad that I feel weird saying on its own terms because I know from what the producer said and even from what Fox said they wanted to go on longer, but at least like they're going to prepare and they're going to go out the way that they want to. So that's good.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So join us for No Man's Land, like for Strange and a few musical numbers. Dustin.
Yay!
Possibly Stella and Ben, scheduling permitting, in audio segments that they'll send in as we give a close to season 4. So until next time, this is Josh.
This is Don.
This is Jan.
And you've been listening to the Gotham Chronicle podcast. Well, the good news is the song parody's ready.
Also, the good news is we don't have to do this too much longer. Either this week or next season.
I'm actually kind of sad about that.
Yeah, I have like very mixed feelings. It's like, good news, Gotham's been renewed, hooray! For like half the amount of episodes. Oh,
Josh and I were talking. Do you think we should talk about that before the review or after the review?
There's only getting one more season.
Yeah, because obviously it's news. We should kind of mention.
Sorry, I'm like putting food in my mouth so I can wake up.
Croissants.
Dude, it is so flaky and buttery. It's from Sam's Club, and it's perfect.
Flaky and buttery. What is it? A season of Gotham?
Well, I guess this season's been very buttery.
Dipped in butter, shining and glistening.
I mean, Sophia, Jerome, and Jeremiah have been, holy crap.
Jeremiah has that little like trigger button. He's like, I can make half of humanity disappear with just the snap of my fingers.
Well, in his case, it makes sense because he doesn't have the option to make things, unlike somebody who can warp all of reality.
Very good. I was hoping that the Thanos joke wouldn't go over anyone's. Okay. Hello, and you've been listening to been listening? No, the show's not over, but it will be in a year. Okay. Hello, hello, and you are listening to the Gotham Chronicle podcast, powered by the BatmanUniverse.net. Check out the Batman Universe and this for me and intros today. Okay, I'm getting it right this time. Hello, and you've been. No, I'm not. Okay. Hello. It's like, wait a second. The way you're talking. You're not Lucius. Rips off Lucius's mask. Peabody, I knew you were alive.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with Spock. It's like, you're an alien. Pointy hairs.
Gordon, stop accusing people of color of being aliens. I can't help.
Wow.
I can't help. Okay, moving on. Now we're getting more spoilers.
I'll edit that part out. Very well.
You say that all the time, and then I read things, and you're like, I'm gonna do this. At this point, it's gonna be like this. And then you leave it in.
You can always be worse, Jan.
I leave a lot of stuff out. You don't even know.
Arabia, yeah.
So Donovan and I were making the song parody for this week, and and Enigma and Homeless Cop are rapping to each other, and I'm Gordon and he's Enigma, and we were like, what nickname should they have for each other? Because it was for R. Kelly it was Kells, so I was like, okay, so if Usher calls R. Kelly Kells, then Gordon would call Enigma, and then as soon as I said that out loud, I was like, oh wait, no, I can't say but
no,
the word the word was already out of my mouth, but I was like, oh yeah, he'll call him, and I was like, oh god. And we were like, yeah, that would be horrible, especially because Donovan's playing the part of Enigma. We just put that in the podcast, and then Dustin's like, what the what's that? Gotham may be getting another season, but I can tell you that you're not. I don't need the NAACP on my ass about a podcast.
That'd be hilarious. Rachel Dolezal's not going to bring you in. Oh wait, she's fired. Enjoy
City justice, city love.
Enjoy the R. Kelly.
City of peace for every one of us.
I am going to use that song for the season finale.
The gospel
we all
version.
need it. Can't live without it. Gotham City. Yeah.
Real quick. So Jan, do you know the song "Same Girl"?
No, and I also have to go and get ready for work.
Okay, I just need like a 5-second audio clip from you that I want to put at the end of the song. Basically, Gordon and Enigma are arguing about Lee, and the joke that I'm doing is at the end of the song, Lee comes in and reveals, oh, actually, I want you guys to meet my new, friend, Wade Wilson. So that's the punchline at the end of the song. She's picked Wade Wilson because Deadpool comes out this week. So can you be Lee and say
Say
hey
what?
Guys, meet my new friend, Wade Wilson. Can you be Lee and just say, and I'll get in at the end of the song, hey guys, meet my new friend, Wade Wilson.
Okay. Hey guys, meet my new friend.
The actress who plays the woman on the show.
Hey guys, meet my new friend, Wade Wilson.
What? I like how you quote unquote girlfriend your voice.
I did?
Yeah, it was kind of like a higher lilt.